All right, box makers. So at this point, the box I'm going to assemble, obviously, I need to measure out for top and bottom. So we have a groove on the insides here, obviously. What I'm looking to do is get a measurement out of there, and that's kind of a tricky part. A tape measure isn't going to work with that hook, it kills you. This piece kind of slips in, and you can kind of read and get that to translate up. What I have found is getting a smaller square, and I could loosen up this blade to adjust, and I leave it a little bit longer than it wants to be, and just bring in the head of the square in. Hard for you to see me doing that. And then I'll make a mark as close to the corresponding or the perpendicular edge as possible. So I'll make a line there, flip this thing around, right there, and then I'll do the same on the length as well. With that done, then I can get into measuring super accurately with some type of a straight edge here, and it looks like I'm at just a shade over 3.5 inches. This is important because when fitting the tops, especially, well, you need to know the dimensions of this anyway, right? You can't make the top or the bottom too big, otherwise the corners never close. If it's too small, it's going to be rattling around in there. And you've got a choice to make. If you use solid wood for top and bottom, which is totally fine, people have been doing that for centuries, there's still going to be expansion and contraction to consider. So for the width, I need to know the dimension, and depending on the time of year, that'll tell me how much I need to subtract so that there is room for this thing to move. The length, however, that I want to get as close to right on the money as possible. If anything, I'm going to err on the side of being too small just because, I want those corners to close. But I want to get that right on the money because that will help to give rigidity. And then I'm going to put a spot of glue in the center here and here if I'm using solid or sheet goods. And then that way it'll hold this nice and true and give it a lot more strength, and it'll still allow for the movement to happen. But once I've done that, then I'm going to have to fit into this groove, and then you're ready to start closing this thing up. All right, hopefully that was helpful.